All right, everybody. On your marks, get set, get ready to go in about 30 seconds. Hey, everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're tuning in to Work Your Career Wednesday. As always, I'm Bradley Clark, thrilled, honored, and blessed that you decided to take time out of your day and take a watch, take a listen to the show. I got to tell you, I'm sorry if my voice is a little, if I sound a little like Darth Vader today. Oh man, please forgive it. I am on a cleanse journey, I guess. We could talk about that a little later. I would love to talk about it if what I'm doing becomes a sponsor. That'd be great. Anyway, today we got an awesome show. If you're a fan of the show, you will know my next guest. He is a great musician. I really love his work. His new venture of several years now is he's an aspiring compassionist, and we're going to get into a lot of things. But to his list of credits, we can add author now, and so for the creator of God Jots and incredible music that I just love, and how he's taken his criticism and turned it into merch is, I love that. I think I want to steal that actually, or borrow it, or however you want to take, whatever. Anyway, guys, make welcome my friend Ender Bowen.
Hey, how's it going?
Dude, the man. I love your new hat, bro.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love that.
Thank you.
It's
This
very
one actually fits
Texas
me.
inspired.
Unless the
It's
rest of
very
them are too big, and I've got to fill them in somehow to keep them on my head. Actually,
well.
believe it or not, I have a small head.
Today is a hat day for me, and I
Yeah.
thought it's gonna be so fitting because Ender's gonna wear a hat. I know he is,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it because it's very Texas inspired with
Yeah.
your Lone
Yeah, it
Star
is.
belt buckle up
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, dude. That's
Yeah.
dope. I love it,
Thank you.
bro. How have you been, man?
I've been good. I've been busy. I've been super crazy busy.
Yeah,
It's been. I can't believe we're in the middle of June already. I feel like this year just
I
started.
know.
I
Yeah,
feel like I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, working on, various projects, but the big one being this book, of course, that you mentioned.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a very interesting year and an interesting journey and an interesting sort of um, experience trying to figure out what the next thing is for me in my life and the process and everything else. So yeah, it's been crazy.
I feel the exact same way. Not to bring up bad things, but New Year's Day feels like 10 years ago. And what I mean is when I say New Year's Day, what do you think of? What do you think I'm talking about?
Well, when you say New Year's Day, I think of January 1st, but obviously, but I'm not.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
You don't remember there was a terror attack in New Orleans, right
I forgot about that.
on off Bourbon
On
Street,
Bourbon Street.
right? And then you had the vet who blew up a Tesla in front of Trump Tower
I forgot
in
about that.
Vegas.
Hmm.
Forgot about that. It seems like it was 10 years ago.
I
It doesn't
totally.
seem like it was 6.5 months ago.
I wonder if maybe that's because there's been so much of that kind of thing happening this year that
It's just white noise,
white noise, but
right?
also, when it's a lot of the same things consistently happening, you almost just kind of, I don't want to say it's white noise or just disappears, but it's like, how time, like you have when you really pay attention to the days, And that's part of
Yeah.
why it's going so fast is because I'm like, it's just one day is after the next and it's all the same and it's crazy. Um, but when you have events like that happening very consistently, they almost start to layer themselves in a way that when you look back at those things, you go, wow, that was a long time ago.
That was a long
It's
time ago. Yeah.
it
I
was
mean, it's such a trip, man.
weird how your
Well,
brain
and it's really crazy. And then,
Mhm.
I don't know if you've kept up with. I mean, so I had a, and this show is not politically driven. It's not
Right.
politically motivated. It's, I've stayed apolitical forever because it's not what
Mhm.
it is. But I had a conservative influencer on,
Yeah.
Melissa Vitelli. Did you see that?
Yes,
For
I
the
did. I
brief
did.
moment you did,
Mhm.
for the brief moment that I was allowed to have it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And, they hammered me for that. I mean, they really did. Now,
YouTube did?
oh God, YouTube. I mean, yeah. Took a They took away sponsors. People had to what do you say?
Subscribe?
Resubscribe, took away I mean they buried it, you know what I mean? And we couldn't run ads on it, couldn't
Right.
do anything. And then I found out why is because I was put into this show. We've been running almost 2 years.
Right.
I've had every person of every political persuasion on
Mhm.
because they're my friends,
Sure,
man.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because if you've got a good spectrum, and you and I have talked about this before, and I talk about it a lot, like, you don't just
Yeah,
surround yourself with people who agree with you because at the end of the day, you could be in a room with only people who, like, agree with you,
right.
and you could start choking, and they might not even care to do anything about it because that's not
Oh
love.
my God, that's so true.
It's about spreading around you a really good spectrum of ideas, ideals, points of view, like, or else you're not educating and growing. And my gosh, people freak out if they find out you're a friend with a conservative, or the other way around, you're a friend with a liberal. It's like, yeah, like
I
these are
mean,
good people that
it's like,
really have
bro, you're so right. And
conversations with people, man.
it's just, I mean, and I mean, in that show, I, you know, I mean, I don't really, I don't know, I don't know,
You're allowed to have your own opinion about things, man. And
I
I think,
well, I mean,
yeah.
well, here's what I'm saying is that here I will say YouTube's been great to us.
Yeah.
We got our start on YouTube. We've learned and we've grown on YouTube, and I never thought I'd say that, but really they've been great. And
Mhm.
and people have told me to go onto other platforms, and I mean, I guess I could. I think I'd probably be building from zero over there, and I'm not a real big fan of their platform.
Right.
But I guess it's what I'm talking about, right? I mean, and I guess it's improving, but that's not the point. But the show isn't bent one way or another.
Right.
And I said I couldn't believe that I was getting punished by this algorithm and by the people that
For
put
just
me in this bucket
yeah.
of, it said political campaigning. And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not campaigning for anything. This is
yeah.
what she is. This
Yeah.
and we've had to fight it ever since. I just did the show with Carla Ty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Uh that got I had to fight to get that one out of the political bucket. And I'm like,
Mm.
this is not about politics. And the reason I bring this up is because you have built this incredible um I'd say fan base, I guess.
Yeah.
Um of just talking on TikTok and with Godjots and your blog and stuff like that, and really trying to bridge this divide
Yeah.
between liberal and conservative, because and you know, 20 years ago, man.
Mhm.
And we can say that we're old enough to
Yeah.
say that we were around and coherent.
Yeah.
having cognitive
Yeah.
thoughts
Coherent
20 years ago.
depends on what day of the week, but yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, uh,
Yeah, I get you.
we were coherent enough to make the choice to be coherent or
Yes,
not,
yes.
right?
That's a great way of putting it. Yes.
And so, politics was something that, I mean, it was there. I mean, I remember I was a stone liberal
Mhm.
and I'd watch Fox News, and my ex-wife like, why do you watch this all the time? Because I used to like Bill O'Reilly, and I'd yell at the television and stuff. And I'd say, well, I got to see
It
what.
looked like he was yelling back at you, so I guess it's
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Just run it. Just run.
Just running.
I'll do it live. But I say, well, I got to know what the enemy's thinking. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
but that's kind of after 9/11. I mean, that was kind of, the thing. It's like, well, okay, so what's really going on, and how do we,
You know
I
what's
was a
fun?
I was a big Chris Matthews fan.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
For a long time, I felt like he was balanced enough, and he called out, the Democrats for what they were doing.
Right.
I felt that he was just balanced, and I mean, and I call it the Democrats because he was always calling out Republicans. So, you know what I mean? When he would call out his own
Yeah.
party, I thought, okay, that's pretty dope. I mean, I can dig that. But now politics is so I mean, they've succeeded, whoever they are, have
Yeah, whoever
succeeded
they
in make
are, they've
right.
succeeded in dividing us and
Yeah.
getting us shouting at each other. It's like, and I just want to be clear, I'm not trying to make fun of these people when I say this. I'm making an observation and I'm saying something about it. And I'm only choosing these people because this is what happened this weekend. It's not because this is just the most fresh thing. Okay, the No Kings protests.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, look, like you're allowed to think what you want, and I'm not sitting here trying to say that you're wrong. What I'm trying to say is you're it's more psychological and emotional manipulation. You're
Yeah.
falling for it. It's more division, and the people who are your masters, the people controlling you, are they're laughing at you. They're like, "Yay, look at what we got them to do." They're all hating each other some more, and they're not going to listen to
Right.
each other. And then oh, we know the cops and everybody else is going to come out here and they're going to try and stop it. And it's going to turn into this big hullabaloo, and it's going to be people angry at each other more, and that means more power for us. And I'm like, come on, people, like wake up to what's happening and how you're being controlled. And to be clear, if this were somebody doing a super pro Trump march the same way, I'd be saying the same thing. It's just this is the most recent thing. So I'm not trying to pick
Right.
on people doing that. I'm making that my observation point. And it drives me crazy because I'm like, I'm not perfect either. I'm not trying to say I don't have a political view. I present what I do apolitically because I believe in being apolitical, but you still are going to have a leaning either way, and that's fine. It's just we got to be able to communicate these things without getting mad at each other and screaming at each other. And if you're that hysterical, that means somebody's controlling you and getting you to act that way. When you're going and chucking Molotov cocktails at a Tesla, it isn't because you're being a rational human being. It's because somebody's gotten you all whipped up to do irrational things. And
And then and okay, and so let's talk about that.
yeah.
So I guess that morning, and
Mhm.
I'm not convinced of this narrative, man. I'm not conspiracy guy.
I'm
I
not
will,
either. I'm not either.
but I will say this does not pass the smell test. Um, the guy in Minnesota who uh I don't want to say that stupid ass word that you
Mhm.
have to say on TikTok.
Right.
But I don't want to get flagged either. The person that committed absolutely heinous acts
Yes.
against those lawmakers. What
Mhm.
are you thinking?
I don't
I
know.
want to. Ooh.
That's the kind of thing we're dealing with now is
And
now.
then,
And I've got to be careful too, dude, because I talk a lot about my feeling is people in power, your masters, they include politicians, they include special interests, they include the media, all these people who have this different kind of power over you that control you to do these things. I've got to be careful about how I speak about that too, because if I'm not careful, I could be getting someone whipped up inadvertently to
Well,
commit
my
things like
point,
this.
yeah.
And
Well,
and it
I don't
worries
think
me
you could
because
ever. I don't think you could ever do that. Whipped
I
up for
know,
what?
but I'm trying
Worshiping
to,
the Lord.
yeah,
I mean that's your gig, man. I mean,
yeah,
this guy, if he is really a conservative,
mhm.
he's not a real conservative.
He's
We
not, no,
don't,
even if he
and
was
that's
a
why I
liberal,
didn't
he's not a
even.
real liberal.
Well,
That's not the
uh,
kind of thing real
it's just
liberals
not the
don't.
kind of thing that that there is a political ideology
Oh, yeah.
that says if you don't toe the party line, that you suffer the consequences, and we've seen that
Well, that's
out of
fear.
the out of the Democratic Party. We've seen
Mhm,
that out of that.
mhm.
There's more collect. It's more of a collective, whereas you have the other side, and I think it's because it's I think the new, not neocon, but the new sort of conservative,
It's a bigger tent.
it's
It's
a bigger
become.
tent, and
Mhm,
it's made up of a lot of people that just like the Democrats were in
mhm.
1824 when Martin Van Buren created the party.
Right.
It was made up of the Democratic Republicans of Thomas Jefferson era
Yep.
that fell apart, and then it was disaffected Whigs. So
Yes.
you had conservative and these sort of Thomas Jefferson liberals
Mhm,
coming together, and the Whigs were deaf to
mhm.
the populace. I mean, absolutely deaf. They
Yeah.
called, if you hear what they call like MAGA people today, that's what they were calling these people, the
Yeah.
populace back then, and it was
Mhm.
vitriolic.
Yeah.
And
So the
what we
what we're
got,
dealing with
well,
is nothing
here, let me
new.
well, let me finish this real
Yeah, yeah,
quick.
sorry, go ahead.
What we got 4 years later was Andrew Jackson,
Mhm,
and then they turned on Andrew Jackson. You see
mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is an old party. It's an old system that has moved further and further and further and further to the left.
Mhm.
And one of the traits of socialism and communism is absolutely lockstep with messaging. With if you go against our party,
Oh, yeah.
you're done.
Mhm,
So that's why a lot of, I would say, conservatives, and the first thing I thought was, oh, they took them out because those people voted with the Republicans in
mhm.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then to find out, and I just see it just doesn't pass the smell test for me. And what do we have? Let's just call balls and strikes as it's being presented.
Sure, sure.
Let's say the guy is a, because he used to be a Democrat apparently, but
Yeah.
let's say the guy is a new
Neoconservative. Yeah.
Republican, right? Or conservative. I don't, he ain't a Republican to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't know. What is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
and this guy is a Christian. So I mean, you have a Christian conservative that goes on a killing spree and has a list of people. I mean, what are you stupid?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with you? But
Yeah.
to your point, this is a person that, just like the left, whipped up enough to go right to go commit,
That's right.
even if
It's
he's
us.
covering for his son, even if he's covering for other people, even if he's a patsy, it does not matter to me. The
Yeah.
point is if that was a part of your even thought process, dude, get help, bro.
And
What is wrong with you?
that's why that's that other part of watching what you say, because, I mean, the political rhetoric is crazy right now. It is
It's
very,
nuts.
it's not good, and that's why I wanna be careful about the things I say, but to your point, and you just brought this up, there's a lot of, I wanna be careful about saying this because I really don't want people to think, "Oh, he's saying I'm mentally ill." There's a lot of mental illness right now. It's
I
crazy.
mean, call it how it is.
I'm calling it
And
how
I
it
don't
is. I
care.
just don't want someone to
Yeah.
go, "Oh, he thinks because I believe this, he thinks I'm mentally ill." I'm like, "I don't even know
No, I'll
what."
say it. If you are
Yeah.
to the point where you are willing to hate
Oh, sure,
not
yes.
only a race, but
Mhm.
a whole group of people
You don't even
because
know.
of what they you don't even know
Yeah.
because of what they may or may not. Bro, you're let me
It's
say, let me
crazy.
just finish it. You're crazy.
Mhm.
You're nuts. You need help. You need to
Mhm.
unplug. You need to get off X. You need to stop with this. You need to stop being controlled by literally, I didn't even know this is a thing, professional protesters. And you need to
That is insane.
reevaluate. Yeah, you need to reevaluate and consider your position with the creator.
Mhm.
Honestly, stop it. Bro, um, okay. So there is a socialist running in New York, and I'm a Texan. I
Right.
hate it, especially from New York and California, dude. It drives
I'm
me
from New York
crazy.
originally, so I know what you're.
Okay, when they have something to say about what's going on in Texas, it's like, dude, I just don't want to hear it. So that's the way I
Mhm.
preface it. I said, I'm a Texan. I hate it when people from New York have something to say, but I'm going to say this. There's a socialist eviscerated Cuomo in this debate.
Mhm.
And I said, I respect the guy because he's telling you the truth.
Mhm.
He's telling you the truth. He's telling you who he is. He's telling you what he believes.
Yep.
And I said, I'm a vehement anti-communist and anti-socialist, but I'll tell you what, he's I respect that guy more than half the people running this country
Oh,
and
heck yeah.
75% of the people running this state.
Yeah.
At least he's telling you the truth.
At least he's telling
And
you exactly
bro,
who he is, and you can make that decision, educate like, you know, he's gonna
so
live and
as you
die by
know,
that, and
absolute as you know, I suffer from TLDR. I'm a stage 4 too long didn't read poster. I
yeah.
am. And so uh I had all these people say, I ain't reading that crap. I ain't reading this. And then they
Mhm.
had something to say. And it was always the people who didn't read it that talked the most smack, right?
Sure.
There was this
Usually is.
one guy. Yeah. There's this one guy on there that we disagree politically.
Mhm.
But bro, we had a wonderful conversation on there. And at the end of the day, we settled on this. We're like, listen, we all want the same thing. We want to be prosperous. We want to be free. We want to be able to do what we want to do,
And you
live
want
how
to
we
let
want to
others live
live.
as well,
And
you know?
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just do your thing. And as long as it doesn't hurt kids or, whatever, do your thing. I'm not
Mhm.
here to, you know what I mean? It's not for me to deal
And
with.
I would bet you, dude, if you had that same kind of like, took people pulled the emotion out and had that same kind of conversation for a good 15, 20 minutes at least, you would find that, honestly, and I
Come
have no
on.
stats to back this up, but I really feel truly in my heart, you'd hit 90% of people in this country would go, "Gosh, our
Yeah.
base belief, God or
Are
not,
the same.
this thing is the same. It's just
We
whipped up by these people to at each
to
other."
yeah to get us at our throat.
Yeah,
And so I said that, and I said, we all want the same things.
yeah,
Now we may disagree on how to get there and how
sure,
to stay there, but
and
we
that
all
ain't a
want the
bad
same thing.
thing.
And he said, he
Yeah.
told me, he said, I couldn't have said it better myself. Bro, we had a wonderful and then there was another guy, literally his name was Tree Hugger something,
So
right?
he's already walking in it. Maybe he's being
He's
kind of tongue in cheek about it. I don't know.
Well, what he did
Yeah.
is he told me what his beliefs are
Mhm.
in terms of these politicians, where they will go to one extreme or the other
Mhm.
in order to get votes,
Yep.
but really they govern from the center. They don't really believe it, and this and that. And I'm like, bro, thank you for telling me what you think about. I really appreciate that. And then I said, because I wrote another long diatribe because context matters, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I said, I just took it off, and I said, if you want me to let you know what it is, I'll do it. But anyway, but I thanked him. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I really appreciate your perspective on that.
I always thank people
And
when they comment on my stuff
I
if,
mean,
you know,
you know
you
what I'm
can find
saying?
one way or
I
another.
just really appreciated it, and I appreciated him giving me what he thought. My thing is I think those ideologies in practice,
Mhm.
and Ask AI about it. Ask Grok. Ask ChatGPT about it. If you don't believe me, those ideologies and political philosophies in practice
Mhm.
have really rooted themselves in authoritarianism,
Yes.
and that's not freedom. There's no
No.
liberation in that,
No.
and that's why I think I just don't agree with them.
Mhm.
However, you know, you go back in time, like my ex-wife, she was a Russian lit um, major, and she went over to the Soviet Union
Yeah.
and studied there for a while. And she got back home, and she kissed the ground. She told me, "I kissed the ground as soon as I got back home." And
Yeah, different world.
when I've gone out of the country, I've done the same thing. I really have, um, because, bro, when you're you leave, and that's another problem. I think people that have never left this country, they're gonna have, they're gonna. It's not gonna. Anyway, we can get off on that. But the
Yeah.
whole point, and I don't want it to devolve into this, but my point is that you what you're doing is so good because you are bringing people that, if they have a glimmer of, this doesn't feel right, like, why do I feel like this on a daily basis, why am I
Why are
so
you angry all
angry,
the time? Yeah.
right, like, and why are these people that I will never know and I will never connect with, and whatever, da, 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 why are they taking up so much of my time and my heart? Why is my heart hardened? Like, I'm
Mhm.
actually, like, I'm seeing people that I never thought I would on the political left literally hating people for the color of their skin. I'm
Mhm.
seeing, you know what I mean? I don't really see that much on the conservative side, but I'm seeing this there, and I'm just like, are you hearing what you're saying? Like,
Yeah,
do you
when
get
people, I
it?
mean, it's funny because I don't think people, and I've had a hard time trying to educate people on this. I don't think people really understand what bigotry is. Because when you take a whole
Oh,
swath of people, it doesn't matter if you're talking about a race or a belief system or what you perceive to be a belief system. Oh, all these liberals or all these conservatives are this. It's like, well, that's bigotry, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You just say these
man.
guys are the bad guys and they're bigots. It's like you may not be
Right.
wrong, but you're also basically labeling yourself one in the process because you just called out you don't know any one of these people. You're refusing to budge or listen. That's
Mhm.
textbook bigotry. And that's another thing I'm trying to help. I've stopped using that word because it just triggers people off and they will not listen when you do it. But I'm trying to get people to
Mm.
understand, like, when you take entire groups of people and put them in a bucket without knowing anything about them, just because somebody on the news told you to think that about them, and sure, you're mixing that in with your experience as well. And I'm not trying to trivialize your experience or your story, but at the same time, like, you can still filter that through kind of getting to know people that you've been told are the enemy. And it's like, these people aren't, you'd probably be surprised. That's why my tagline at the end of my podcast is always, be honest with yourself, be truthful with others, give people the opportunity to surprise you. Because if you can do that, you may sometimes, probably more than sometimes, be surprised at what you get if you're just honest. And if you let them have a moment of honesty too, and not be trying to play gotcha all the time, like, I'm trying to catch you in something, like, don't do that. Have an honest conversation. This is part of what I'm trying to do with this book is, I mean, the stuff I talk about in here is a more personal forgiveness experience. Like, you've been, someone trespassed on you, or you trespassed on someone else, that kind of a thing, right? Like an individual to individual perspective. But I'm also trying to think of it in broader terms, in terms of the kind of stuff we've been talking about right now, which is, what if, instead of trying to find a reason to forgive someone, let's say it's someone on the political opposite end of the spectrum, if you want to go there, what if, instead of looking for a reason to do that, you just did it, and you said, hey, whatever's about to happen, whatever conversation we're about to have right now, I forgive you for any insults that you send my way, whether they're real or perceived. And let's have an honest conversation. Hit
let's
that
take
baseline.
let's take a quick break, and I want to
Mhm.
get into this. I want to talk about the
Yeah.
book. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Andrew, you're on a roll, and it's so my fault. I am so
Oh,
sorry.
don't worry about it.
I wish I had. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do real quick?
Sure.
Enjoy my my death there. I have to. Not an endorsement. Just I'm
Oh yeah, I'm the
I'm
same way. I'm
I'm
like, I'm
I'm
trying to
out.
drink this while, because
Right.
not
Well,
it's not endorsement, and I don't think anybody cares, but I,
well, I'll tell you. We'll get into it with the sponsors, and I'm sure they're not thrilled. I just did that. Could you see what it was?
did I see what? Oh yeah,
Did you
I
see what it
did.
was?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh well, sorry.
You can always,
Um, because Puente coffee is actually my favorite coffee. They just
yeah.
haven't sent me any, and I
Mm.
love them, but come on, I'm out. I've been out for
I'm
a
out.
while.
I'm out.
You know what I mean? So
I need my
I need my fill. You know my
yeah, I need a refill.
I
Yeah.
had a guy. His name's Kevin Pike. He's like a special effects legend.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. What I'm talking about. He
Oh
he did
yeah.
the car.
Mhm.
He did Fight Club and all that.
Mhm.
And I told him, I said, yeah, let me call you when I get home. I'm at Starbucks with some coffee. He goes, stop drinking caffeine. I was like, why? He goes, because it stifles your creativity. I don't know if he's right or not. I'm still drinking it. But I
I'm,
mean,
I have to wake up one way or another, and it ain't
one,
happening with a.
it ain't happening with a wink and a smile. I will
I was
tell
just
you
gonna
that.
say the exact same thing. A wink and a smile. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had an emergency. I was, so I cut you off. What
We're
I'm
good.
loving about what you do beyond this book, and I want to get into because there's a question. One question that I have,
Sure.
and we'll talk. Maybe I could ask it later. I'll ask it now. I don't know. But what I love about what you do,
Mhm.
and we've talked about politics, so I'll probably get flagged by YouTube because heaven forbid we talk about politics and what
Yeah.
they're helping to contribute to. Um, all of this. Sorry, I mean, stop. Shadow banning my show. Okay.
Right.
I love you. I love you, YouTube. I really do. I'm not, Steven Crowder here. I'm not putting
Oh
up,
yeah, I know.
things where my logo is, pissing on,
Right. I mean,
YouTube.
YouTube has every right to do what they want, but when you're
Well,
in,
but if I had a skinhead for Harris, I would have
yeah,
gotten a million views on that, and it
and
wouldn't have, it wouldn't
that's
have
where it's
mattered.
a little bit wrong. It's like if you're
You know
gonna
what I'm
do this,
saying?
be equal opportunity about it. Like
What what
that's a
what
fair
I'm
thing to
saying
do.
is that what I'm saying is I'm on Team Ender Bowen. Where honestly, I don't care what you think about these people that you'll never meet, most
Mhm.
likely. I don't care about, and maybe, and you know what? It's probably bad for my brand.
Right.
Everyone knows where I lean. If they're a fan of the show, everyone knows who I vote for. Everyone
Mhm.
knows what party I'm registered to. I don't make it a secret, and everybody knows why.
Right.
But the thing is I do not condemn anyone for what they believe.
Right.
And what you do is say, listen, stop the noise, man.
Mhm.
Just talk.
Yeah.
Stop it. This aspiring compassionist, I think, is a beautiful way to phrase it, because I think we all want to be more compassionate, but it's
Mhm.
almost like the way we think is passe.
Oh
It's
god,
like,
yeah.
don't you feel that way
And I'm
sometimes?
wondering if sometimes that's because we come from that pre 9/11 world, which, to be fair, it's not like we were
Yeah.
all hunky dory happy then, but in our own minds, maybe I suppose, as for me anyway, as a teenager, I was actually going to bring that up earlier because you mentioned 9/11, and for me, I would have said I was a very hardcore, like, liberal leaning,
We're artists, man. It's
Yeah,
like part of what we have to be.
I believe the world could be solved by, hey, oh,
Yeah.
these people want to kill me. Let me show them peace. Let me bring them a bouquet of flowers and be like, hey, I don't mean any
Right.
harm. But they don't. But people who really want to hurt you, they don't care about that. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize that until 9/11, and that was when I grew up. And I don't mean to say that I grew up and suddenly figured it all out. I didn't. I mean, I write God jots because I'm still figuring it out, right? It's still part of the
Yeah.
process. But it really made me go, oh, there really are bad people in this world, and they really will do terrible things. And it doesn't matter if you tell them, I got your back, or I'm on your side, or I'm willing to listen. Just because, I'm not an idiot. I am an aspiring compassionist. I do talk about this idea of coming together and talking, but
Yeah.
I do know that there are people in the world that A, don't want to do that, and B, a large force in this world that doesn't want you to do that. And that's hard to fight, like I'm trying to reach people as much as I can where I can. I'm not going to win all the time. And um I don't want to sit there and say things like, well, that means you're lost. That's not what I mean. But at the same time, it's how are we going to move society forward? How are we going to be a better people? And how are we going to really truly change things and progress if we're doing this all the time? Like, there's a reason nothing changes or gets better. It's partly because we're fighting like this. And at the same time, you have Republicans and Democrats and everybody else, no accountability. It doesn't matter who gets voted in or voted out. It's still the same two. I call them the families, right? We kicked out one royal family just to replace them with two, and the
Right.
illusion of choice.
Right.
Because every time you have a primary, it's basically like, oh, it's just brothers and sisters of the Democrat family. I'm
It's
choosing.
honestly who can talk crap the best.
That's who can talk crap at this point.
I'm,
Yes.
you know what I
And
mean? At this point, it's so funny because part of like this guy in New York, I can't remember his
mhm,
name, Mom Donnie. I think it's Mom Donnie. Uh,
mhm.
the
The guy you're
thing that
talking
I
about
liked,
earlier?
that I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
the reason I liked him is because he eviscerates Cuomo, right?
Mhm.
And that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm sorry, you know, just the whole
He was
C-19 thing.
he was a
I'm
shady
sorry,
dude.
dude. And then, the whatever.
Mhm.
But um he just seems genuine about who he is. And part of my reply to that one guy that I was talking to, what was going to be, and I didn't publish it because I'm saying if you can get the reason why you like this guy is
Mhm.
the reason why people liked Trump. It's
Mhm.
that's the reason because he was up there at least speaking his truth and it resonated with people
Mhm.
and he wasn't trying to spin it because honestly he can't. He
Right.
doesn't. I don't think the guy knows how to spin. If you notice, if he tries it, you can see him spinning. You can
I
see,
feel like that would make me a bad politician too. I don't know how to
dude,
spin.
make me a
Yeah.
terrible politician. It's like, it'd be like, yeah, so I just whatever. So you know what I mean? So you can kind of like that's but anyway, whether he is whether he isn't, the point is that's why people like him. That's why people are liking this guy, and that's why he should be taken seriously.
Right.
But all of that aside, and I'm not, again, YouTube campaigning for anybody, but I mean, he's a socialist. You probably like that. I'm not campaigning for anybody. What I am saying is, I loved the conversation that I had with these couple people, and it
Mhm.
reminded me so much. And honestly, I was going to text you and I forgot, but it was like, this is what you're aspiring to do.
Yes.
And what I love to is when I see your stuff in TikTok and people start like they really try to jab you and dig you. And I'm like, bro, your comment is going to end up on a t-shirt, bro. Like he does not care at this point.
Yeah.
This dude's a vet,
If
bro.
they're good enough, like, I mean, there's
If
some
they're good, they have to be edgy enough, right? But they're going to end up on a shirt.
one way or
You,
another they might,
what,
yeah. And the
I'm
dangerous thing is
sorry.
I might get people who become genuine fans and they just try to throw things at me so they can get on a shirt, which maybe that's not a terrible thing. I don't know.
I think that's a great thing. I think you announce that campaign right here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Hit me with your best
if your
shot.
jab exactly if your jab is good enough, bro, we're gonna put you on a shirt
Well,
and
I said, but you've seen that I
congratulations.
say that when people say the right comment, I go, "That's going on a T-shirt." You know what I mean? Like I'll say it, but part of it is too to take the power out of, like, even to deflate them a bit, because I kind of feel like it's almost like bullies. If you
Yeah,
let a bully, and I was bullied a lot as a kid, if you let a bully know that what they're doing isn't bothering you at all, you're just going on with your life because they're not even on your radar. It's
yeah.
like, A, they're gonna stop. B, they're going to get worse for a bit, and then they'll probably stop once they realize it just ain't working. I dialed it up, and that still ain't working. Um, but part of it is to kind of, it's kind of a high roadish thing where it's saying, look, your words aren't going to hurt me, so you're going to have to try something different. And
Well, I mean,
that's
or
kind of what I'm
just
getting
kick
at.
their ever loving ass. I mean, that could
Yeah,
be that's one thing that you can do too. But bro, what you're doing is so profoundly God inspired, bro. Honest, I really do believe that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And your book, do you have a copy of it?
I do. I have it right in front of me, right here. Look at this.
God Jots. Look at that. Forgiveness and healing. Why okay, so why first of all, what's the book about? Why should somebody buy it?
Mm.
Let's start there.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, the book is really, it's about forgiveness. It's about understanding why it's important, understanding its power. It's you know how I talk about, I mean, aspiring compassionist. Compassion is my big overall thing. And I feel like forgiveness is just one of the tools in the tool belt of compassion. And for me, I think it came about twofold. One was, I saw when people were coming to my website, the articles they were spending the most time on, which I don't have a lot about forgiveness and apologies, but I do have some. And I saw what they were actually searching when they came there. So I thought, well, I was going to do a God Jots book anyway. Originally, it was going to be an anthology kind of thing where I took all my blogs and did, volume one of God Jots and volume two and so on and so forth. And I was like, gosh, it just seems like this is God's telling me I need to do something about forgiveness. And once I sat down to do it, I realized, and you know how I filter everything through this idea of love, like the greatest commandment: love God with your whole heart and love your neighbor as yourself. And for me, when I started writing this, because I didn't really have a real true focus on what I was doing quite yet, I just started writing it and saying, what is forgiveness? Why is it important? Why does God have it? What is grace? And all this other stuff that kind of moves along with it. And the more I got into that and was talking about compassion, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like this book has to happen now, because, and I even write this in the forward, because of this political discord.
Mm.
And because if we're not careful, we are going to get so angry at each other that it's going to go from shouting to weapons to just really bad stuff. And I mean, you already pointed it out with the those
The guy in
representatives.
Minnesota or in
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly the
What
kind of stuff I'm worried
dude,
about.
like what in
And
the world, man?
yeah, but it's,
You mix that kind of anger and vitriol with psychosis,
and boom. And
bro.
that's part of how they do it. And so I'm trying to get people to, again, it's part of that whole process of compassion in a larger scope, but it's also about, carrying the weight of guilt with you if you've done something, or um, you know being, someone did something to you and you're having a hard time forgiving them, and that's weighing you down. And this is going to sound funny, but I think you and I have talked about this before, about how I'm really into pro wrestling. And you know about the Montreal screw job, I assume, because just about
Mm-hmm.
everybody, even if you're not a wrestling fan, knows about it. Essentially, just to give a little background to your listeners, a real screw job happened in Montreal in '97 when Vince McMahon rang the bell when Bret Hart was wrestling Shawn Michaels, took the title off of Bret Hart because he was leaving, and Bret Hart was, Shawn obviously was involved, and Bret Hart was angry with Vince and with Shawn for a long time.
To this
And
day.
to this day, he still is, but they did come together and forgive each other, like on
But
air.
man, have you? If I've seen a couple
Oh, he's
of
still holding
the
it in. He's
interviews,
still holding a lot,
he's still, yeah, which I
and
get,
I can't say as I blame him, but
but
he
that's
was always
actually
talking about
real.
this.
That was not scripted. Like that
Yeah,
was
he
real.
was always talking about this sack of bricks he was carrying with him, and it wasn't until he forgave Shawn that
Yeah.
it disappeared. And I think about stuff like that and that imagery, and it's weird how wrestling has a lot of life lessons for me, but um, it's I talk
I
about that a
actually
lot.
get that. I
Yeah, how
understand that.
forgiveness is very much you it's something you're supposed to do. It's something that is good for you. It's good for the other person. And I talk about that too. Like, this person may have done something terrible to you, but are
Mhm.
you going to hold them to that debt for their entire lives? And when you do release them, are you really going to release them, or are you gonna still hold them to it? I
It's
mentioned
hard,
it to
man.
you as it is hard. Yeah, nothing I talk about in here is easy. But that's why I use a lot of my sense of humor and everything else to kind of be goofy about it. But um, so the book talks about why it's important. It talks about why it's powerful. It talks about the psychological and physical health benefits. And then I think half the book is about ways you can do it. Like, here are 10 simple ways, 10 really more deeper ways you can offer forgiveness and
That's
ask for
interesting. So
forgiveness.
you're not. It's just not. It's not okay. This is one thing that really bothers me about self help books and particularly
Mhm.
Christian self help books.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
I've
don't even
wanted to
see it
write
as a
one for a
self-help book.
while.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to write one for a while, but I just, really what it is, or mostly it's stories and how people can relate and understand and how God can help you forgive them. Great. Oh, so profound. Oh, man,
Mhm.
you give people actual identifiers
Mhm.
and you give them steps to do.
Oh,
Like
heck
there's
yeah.
work to do,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I even get
But-
into the difference between feeling like doing it and being ready to do it. I had a really good conversation with
Mm,
a friend of mine who was like, "Well, there's a difference between, like, feeling like, what if you're not ready? What if you don't feel like it?" I'm like, "Well, those are 2 different things. You can be ready to forgive someone and not feel like forgiving someone, the same way as you can be ready to go to work and not feel like going to work, that kind of
oh,
a
that's
thing.
good,
It's
man.
more complicated than that, but I get into things like that, and I kind of tried to, not just in the stories that I got from people that I got to send me some stuff, but also in the conversations I had with a lot of people whom I just love so much, that were willing to be open about what forgiveness means to them. I was able to pull some of that in, and I never really even would have thought about the ready versus feeling like it until I had this conversation. Like, that's got to go in the book, and I dove into that a little bit. I talked about the idea that, Christ on the cross forgiving the people hammering him into it, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And I'm like, if he can do that, you can do that. And, like, it's, to me, that's one of the most powerful things. And I have to remind myself, as I always say, I write this stuff for me as much as I write it for other people. It's like, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that I sit on this big, pedestal and go, well, I know how to forgive everyone and I do it all the time and it's so easy for me. Let me show you. It's like, it's not that easy. It's hard. And
Well, that leads me to when we talked. I want, and I hope I don't screw it up, but
mhm.
really is what I asked you before when we talked about doing the show.
Oh yeah.
So you're giving people ways and the reasons why a little
Mhm.
bit of work, to
Oh yeah.
forgive. As you're writing this book, what did you learn?
That I'm not as good at forgiving as I'd like to have thought I was.
Yeah.
Um, I actually, a couple of the stories I included in here were stories of me uh, being a little bit of a jerk when I was younger, and getting having grace presented to me by someone that I really, really hurt. And mind you, I was a teenager, and we do stupid things as teenagers, but it's still something. But I also have,
You
um,
remember it.
yeah, I also have
I
stories
get it.
of, um, where I had to forgive. But yeah, the thing I learned most was, man, can I talk about not holding grudges, and I act like I don't hold grudges, but I hold grudges. And
No, man.
I don't know if that's a protection thing or it's self-defense mechanism, but even asking that of myself, like, why is that? It makes me go, okay, why is that for other people? And how can I help people dealing with that same kind of thing where maybe it is a defense mechanism, maybe it is something else. And it's like, how can we, dive into that a little bit without me coming off like I'm your therapist? Because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get you to everything that I try to do is to try and get people to think in a different way than they're used to. And that can sometimes be jarring. It's jarring for me. There are times when I'm writing what I write, whether it's this book or my articles or whatever, and the thought hits me because I know I'm being inspired by God somehow. And the thought hits me about something, and I go, what? Okay. And the more I sit there on it, the more I go, yeah, that makes sense. And it's bizarre when I open myself up and let the pen write itself, in a sense, like get out of the way of God and let him just, here, do that. And all these things come out, and I go, I never would have thought that on my own. There's no way I would have thought that on my own. And that's what I'm also kind of trying to help people to do, is inspire them. Whether they're connecting to God or not is not the point. Inspire them to think differently, at the very least, think of other people differently, and figure out how to navigate the world that way, and stop worrying so much about these big forces that are trying to control you. Who's Trump? He's just a guy. Who's Biden? He's just a guy. Like, these people are not these mythological lords and gods. They're just people. Are there big giant machines behind them? Sure. But it's, the fear that you're feeling from these things are exactly what they want you to feel. And only when you start talking to real people on the ground, living lives, trying to get through the day, are you going to start to see that, holy crap, we are very similar. And this book is really just a different way of trying to, everything I do is about that. This is just a different angle at which to go with it. So that's a lot of what it's about.
I love that, man. I love that. We're gonna time travel really quick,
Yeah.
but the audience is gonna. They're time travelers, bro. Give us a
Yeah.
second. Hold on.
Okay.
We've all right. We've time traveled.
Woo.
Um, Stupid things still on. I love that, man. I have a big problem with holding grudges, man. I really do. I think the older I get, I think I'm a little better at not doing
Mhm.
it. But man, and okay, there was this guy when I was a kid, did
Mhm.
some really bad things to me.
Mm.
And um and it's not something that, like, oh, suddenly I knew, or it was like, oh, I grew up and suddenly, this happened, and I was
Yeah.
so, and now I'm really mad about it. I knew it was wrong at the time.
Right.
I was just a little kid, I'm like 5, 6 years old. What am I going to do?
Well,
And
try to process stuff you don't really know from a bigger,
well,
you know?
yeah, he's a teenager and all that. And then later on in life, I got a chance to, you know, yeah, you know, pay him back a little bit.
Mhm.
But later on, I talked to him about it, and I said, "Listen, you know, I'm not going there, I'm not going public. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that." I said, I just want you to tell me you're sorry."
Mhm.
Well, what? Well, sorry for what? And this and that. And he started. I said, no, 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 stop. You know what I'm talking about. Stop it.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Just say you're sorry. That's it. and he did. And that was cool. I wish I didn't have to coax it out of him, but
Yeah,
at that point, it was less of me hating him
right.
and really wanting to, you know, um, but it was more I wanted him, because particularly in the Christian world,
Mhm.
there's a lot of, you know, deny, deny, deny,
Oh, yeah.
and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And he was, he grew up in that world, so did I. And at that point, it was more. And I'm not trying to sound like some, you know, because I had a really hard time,
Oh, yeah.
but it was more or less like, look, if something somehow happened and he didn't confront that for himself,
Mhm.
I don't want, his soul to be in jeopardy because he
Right.
didn't. That was
Right.
really my thought process. Still took me years um to forgive that. And I bring that up because it's probably one of the most, um like, that's a hard one,
Yeah.
you know,
I
to
imagine.
forgive.
When he and maybe you don't know this, but when he did apologize to you, do you feel it was genuine, at least in some respect?
I think he was at the point where it's like I not so much a caught thing,
Mhm.
but I'm not messing with you. And you know what I mean? So just stop. Just
Right.
stop it. Admit it. And I think probably not at that moment,
Mhm.
but there's not a doubt in my mind that he didn't come off that phone call and think about it. And at that point, I think, he probably.
The reason I asked that is because if he was resistant to it and genuinely thought, and I do talk about, what if I thought I did nothing wrong?
Mhm.
Um,
Well, I mean, there's
yeah,
no I mean, come
I
on.
know.
I mean, there's no way. You know,
Right. But
it was
okay,
wrong at
so
the
actually that
time.
works more to
You
my
know what I mean?
point. That had to be hard for him to do. Whether or not he
Yeah.
meant it in the moment or not, that had to be hard for him to do, and to a certain extent, again, I'm not trying to trivialize what happened, that's not what I'm saying. To a certain
Yeah.
extent, that has some merit and some weight and some value, um,
Well,
because
at
you're
the same time, I have to admit, though,
yeah.
I mean, there's people that have gone through a hell of a lot more than I did. I
Well,
mean,
sure,
if you
but that doesn't change
compare
the fact
the,
that you went through what you went
I
through.
mean,
That's
yeah,
not
I mean, dude, like, if you compare it, bro, like, I could say, I mean, it, wasn't great. People
I
have
would
gone through a lot more than me, but
I
it
would
did
say,
affect
though,
me for years.
here's something that I want you to think about. Don't compare what you went through as not being as bad as what someone else went through. It's not your fault that you didn't go through something worse.
Ooh, that's good, man.
You can't do anything about that. All you can do is respect and go through your own struggles and use them, sure, to as best as you can relate to other people who've gone maybe through worse, but it's not your
Mhm.
fault you didn't go through worse. That's not your story, and it's okay. Like I say this a lot to people,
Man,
like, your struggle is your struggle, and like, some people are afraid of spiders, some aren't, you know. Um,
I'm deeply afraid of spiders.
okay.
I hate
I'm
spiders.
I'm getting better.
Are you
Just as
really?
long as just as long as they don't come out and do, like, 8 jazz hands, I'm okay. But that's what I'm
Bro,
trying to say is, like, it's not your fault that you didn't go through something worse, and so when you compare your struggles to someone else's, I get it. I do the same thing. It's a genuine, like, "Oh, I'm just me. I blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't go through this. Like, at least I didn't go through that, and who am I to say that this was a struggle for me?" That's kind of what you're implying, is, who am I to say that this was rough or a struggle? Like, it was, obviously. It doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter how it compares to what someone else might have gone through. It's not your fault you didn't go through that. Like, so
Ender, that's actually really big, bro.
let
Thank you for
yourself
that.
have that. Let yourself have that. You're allowed to, for those experiences and those struggles to be as powerful as they're going to be, because if you ignore the power in them, they're not going to help shape you to be the strong, powerful, and empowered person that you're capable of being. So just that's my opinion, but that's how I feel about it.
Ender, that's well, because I mean, and again, guys, once again, the book is called God
Oh
Jots.
yeah, God Jots,
Ender
forgiveness.
Bowen, yep, Forgiveness and Healing. You can get it on. It's a beautiful cover, by the way.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love that. I love that, and you can
I have
pre-order
been
it. You
awed
can
over it
get
for days.
you, you can pre-order it right
Go to
now.
forgivenessbook.godjots.com. You can pre-order it there until July 15th. It comes out July 15th, and you can get it at that point.
Well, and we're gonna have. Are you doing an audiobook too?
I will be doing an audiobook, yes. I just haven't had a chance
Awesome.
to get it put together. I will be doing an audiobook, yes. If you
What?
love this voice, boy,
Love
have
you
I got
totally.
3.5 to maybe 7 hours of joy for you.
I love it, man. Well, I really, I mean, it's really great. You guys got to get this book. It is fantastic. Just what we're talking about. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but just from what we're talking about right here, this is big. And the fact that as you were writing the book, you found out things about yourself. That's a big deal. And and what we were just talking about, I find that particularly when Christians are sharing their testimony,
Mhm.
they tend to go through the how do I call it, the trial Olympics,
Yeah.
you know. God save, I was in the I mean, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like, I was delivered from this and that,
Yeah.
and then if they had trouble with the law, I was caught with 19,000 pounds of methamphetamine, and God delivered me. I
Mhm.
mean, it's like, bro, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, it just like it's almost like it's one of the reasons why I quit going to uh, when I was drinking AA meetings.
Mhm.
I just couldn't take it, man. I mean, I'm all about a blues song and all, but
Sure.
you know what I mean? It's just, and for me, what I found out through these things is I found out I actually wasn't an alcoholic. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
actually weren't?
I was not.
Okay, gotcha.
I wasn't. I found out that I was not.
Mhm.
But I was really going for that label. I mean, I was really headlong, really wanted to go for it. But I found out that I wasn't. Once you get to the point where you stop sort of relying on substances to shield, you,
Mhm.
and you start realizing that honestly, with God, there's just too much that he can do and he does,
Yeah.
which I guess was the point of AA in the first place. But
Yeah.
once you get past that sort of testimony Olympics,
Yeah.
and you're just honest with yourself and all of that, there's so many things that can happen. Forgiveness is the hardest part, though, and so this is why. And it's really interesting that you said that you go on your website and you see, well, which one of my blogs is the most popular, and
Mhm.
you said it was like three of them, and it was
Yeah.
those that were getting the hits
Yeah.
on forgiveness. And
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's like, I think most people don't realize that they only look at what they have to forgive. They don't look at what they have to be forgiven for. Hold steady real quick. Hold steady.
I can't hear.
Jeremy Winans. Hold on.
Oh.
Well, Jeremy, I'm right in the middle of a show with Ender Bowen. You're on the air right now. Like, not
Who?
live. It's going to be recorded,
Who?
but I didn't want to not pick up your call because you and we got to talk. And I love you, bro. How are you okay with from the car accident?
love you too.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
here, man. I'm healed.
Praise God, bro. Let me call you after I'm done with the show, okay?
Sounds good, brother.
All right, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too. Peace.
Peace. My little brother, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That guy, I just love him to death. Jeremy Winans, he's got keep him in prayer. He was in a car accident a while back and all that. And he's getting better. But
Good.
funny, I haven't talked to him so long, and we're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about this and that. And Jeremy calls. It's
Yeah.
like, see, and I took the call on the air in the middle of our interview for a reason. Once you start doing different things to get closer to God,
Mhm.
to to understand that there's things that you have to be forgiven of.
Oh yeah.
You
Mhm.
need to be the instead of being the forgiver, you might need to be the forgivee.
That's right.
You know, and there's certain things that you have to say sorry for.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily like like another my big brother. Um, I was on the road when Pops died,
Mhm.
and I was a terrible brother. I was terrible. Absolute. I just and I because I couldn't take someone else passing. Absolutely selfish. And I finally, we texted, and I was like, "Bro, I couldn't get the courage.
Yeah.
I didn't have the courage to say I'm sorry. I felt lower than snake crap,
Mm.
and I
It's
just
hard.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I finally did, and he goes, "Bro, I'm good." He goes, "I love you, man. We'll catch up, but I'm good." No, and here I am carrying all of this
Mhm.
because
And
I
you didn't
do
need
think
to.
he had to forgive. I think he had to forgive me, and he did because he's just that guy.
All right.
But but I had to um I had I had to forgive um myself,
Yeah.
but I had to ask forgiveness from him. It was absolutely insane. And what I'm loving about what you're doing with this book is again God Jots, Amazon, Kindle,
Mhm.
July 15th.
July 15th.
Um is so big, man. It's so big. And I'm just thrilled that you put it in a book, man, so people can, they can just read it for themselves
Yeah.
as opposed to having to go on TikTok, which is great. I'm glad people
Sure.
can find you there.
Or
But
like
and
a
we'll
platform where it's like, "Hey, pay me $30 and I'll teach you all about forgiveness. It'll be fun.
right, dude, that's
You'll
another
be
one I
forgiving
can't
in 10
stand.
minutes."
You'll be forgiving in 10 minutes
Yeah.
flat. I guarantee it.
If not, you get your money.
You'll get your money
Oh,
spent in other ways.
yeah, so I'll spend it on other ways.
We'll
I'll
spend
spend it
it.
on better research. Yeah.
Look, if you want your money back, you can then practice forgiveness
Mhm.
because you will have to forgive me for not giving your money back.
That's right.
It's
That's
so
the
bad.
test.
It's so bad. That's so terrible. Bro, it's God Jots by Andrew Bowen. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's do it. All right.
Well, I'm so thrilled, man, about the book, and I'm so happy that you came on. And
Thank you. Thank you for having
I
me again.
mean, dude, you have an open invitation. And dude, I'm so sorry. So we were gonna start later today,
Mhm.
or we're gonna start later because I just wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
And through the course of this conversation, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not,
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot like when I first got on, I mean, I'm sure the caffeine helps a little bit, let's be honest. But I
stifles
got on and I
creativity,
was like,
Bowen.
"Ugh," and now I'm like, "Ah." I don't think it's all.
Right.
It's a lot of just good conversation. and some realizations as well. Always a good thing. So yeah.
Well, no. Well, last question, because I know you got to go. You have meetings today about this book and what and the other stuff that you're doing to promote it, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep you too long because if you and I, we both suffer from TLDR,
Yeah.
which is
Yes,
great.
I do.
But
It's a real thing.
What do you what do you
TLDRA.
want?
I'd explain what that is, but I don't have the time.
We don't have. That's good. That's good. I would explain to what it is. I don't have the time.
I don't have the
Oh my god, bro.
okay,
So what
sorry.
do
What were
you?
you gonna say?
So what, besides the obvious, man, what is it that you want people to get out of reading this book?
I want them to get out of this book that a lot of what's holding you down, a lot of what's weighing you down, and a lot of what's controlling you is well within your power to do something about. And everything from the things you're afraid of, the people you're afraid of, or the parts of yourself that you're afraid of. So much of that is, believe it or not, rooted in forgiveness. Because once you forgive, it is really truly like releasing all of that from you. It's like just here's some chains binding me to a transgression that somebody did to me, even, and I've now released myself from that. And I so much of what I do is trying to empower people, and I really think that's what I want people to get from it. I'm always going to want people to get something like that from it. And the next part of it is just, seeing your neighbor in a different way. And so much of that can come from, oh, they haven't given me my rake back, or or they get up in the morning at 7 o'clock and they're turning a diesel truck on and letting that hum for a good hour.
Nothing that you're dealing with, or
No,
at
nothing
all.
that I'm dealing with at all.
Nothing that you would ever have any sort of.
But you would,
these are just hypotheticals.
yeah, but you would be surprised at how much those little things can change your entire day. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, you
it
know
may
what
seem like
though?
the tiniest thing to forgive, but it's like, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to forgive that because whatever. And they don't need to apologize to me for that, for me to forgive it and let it go. And that's kind of what I'm trying to teach people to do is so much of what you're holding on to, whether it's guilt or it's anger or a grudge, so much of that is so much in your power to just go done with it, moving on.
So, okay, in antiquity,
yeah,
king of Assyria, I believe his name was Sennacherib, and he went on a campaign, and you read about it with the story of Gideon and all of that. You read about it, but so he didn't take Jerusalem, but he took a small city town above north of Jerusalem, right? And he decimated that town. And the way he did it was he built a ramp, and it's still there to this day. He built a ramp out of stone and earth, small stones. And they would throw it. They said it took him about, I think people estimate that it took about 3 weeks to do because the town was under siege.
Right.
This was it during the campaign where in the Bible it says that God slew 180,000 Assyrians and they left Jerusalem alone. They uncovered his palace, and the relief, one of the big pieces of art in his palace
Yeah.
is the campaign against this little town where he made a ramp to go
Right.
over their wall made of little stones.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the campaign, because after Jerusalem didn't fall, that was it, and he never attacked him again. He never attacked Israel,
Right.
Judea again. But that one that battle,
Mm-hmm.
they memorialized, and they made the ramp of little stones, and you can see it to this day. And they used it to go over the wall and vanquish the city. Why did I think of that? Because you're talking about somebody turning on their truck,
Mm-hmm.
not giving back a rake. Little things.
Yeah.
Hear me? Little things that build a ramp. Those little stones.
Mm-hmm.
Those little stones build a ramp to where if there's enough of those little stones, and it's harder if you can't forgive the little and take that stone off the ramp,
Mm-hmm.
eventually what's going to happen is that there's something big's going to happen. It's going to fill in that ramp, and you're going to be vanquished in one way or another through
Yep.
unforgiveness.
Mm-hmm. And you'd be surprised once you start the process. I think maybe that's another thing I learned. Once you start the process, you'd be surprised how very close to already built that ramp is. And
well, I mean, and now, I mean, you're talking to me about little things. Who would have thought that something from antiquity would come into my mind? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you did that. Like this book is going to uncover a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
within you, the listener, the listener, when you get the book and you read it, it's going to uncover a lot of things. And what you just said, you'd be surprised once you start doing the work how ready built that ramp already is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been implying it this
Gosh,
whole
that's good.
conversation. They're already at your door. They're already on the ramparts. Start pulling that out from under them. That's in your power to do.
There's a guy on TikTok I saw last night, with all the events going on,
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of interesting to see. And this guy asked a question. He said he's really struggling with it. He's like, when it says that, people get rewarded for different things, and what is that going to look like when you go to heaven, and this and that, or when
Right.
you're judged, and this, and and the answer was really interesting. And I think people forget that one of the rewards, I think the major reward, is that you made it. You're not in hell, bro. You made it. That's a huge reward. Just go with that.
Just
Be
go with that.
happy.
Mhm.
Just go. You're good. You're good. But also, one of the other rewards is, when you do what you're called to do, you're going to be able to see the people that you've reached and that you helped and brought them to the Lord. And I think that's such a big thing. And it's really kind of fascinating that, believing how we do,
Right.
to think that unforgiveness and using Jesus as a tool for quote unquote fame, or using the Lord, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing things from a place of like, I really want to help people,
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm seeing. I want them, I to think that someone, and feel free in the comments to go theologically debate yourselves. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, I try and
You
stay
know,
away from a lot of that because I
Phil,
keep it simple,
well,
But-
feel free to do it. But the thing is that to think that unforgiveness could keep someone out of heaven, that's a big deal. To think that it's that serious,
Yeah.
that, you do all sorts of things and you help all sorts of people, but it's your unforgiveness. It's this in here that you can't, and I get it. Your heart's been broken so many times and it hurts so bad.
And it ain't just
But
unforgiveness towards other people. It's unforgiveness towards yourself. Like you've got to be right with yourself too. And
So big.
I talk
So
about that in
big.
here. I don't spend as much time in here about forgiving yourself, but I do talk about it. You've got to give yourself grace sometimes. The same grace that, I'm talking about offering to other people. I mean, it is, you can't love your neighbor as yourself very well if you're not loving yourself very well, because you're going to reflect that in how you love your neighbor. So there's got to be a lot of self-compassion involved, and self-compassion is self-forgiveness, self-grace. I sometimes try and look at it like this might come off a different way than I'm intending it, but like I'm just another person. And if I can do that and, step outside the shoebox of me and look at myself as just another person I just happen to inhabit, then I have to be willing to give myself that grace too. There's all
Well,
kinds of different ways you can look at it, but that's
well,
kind
think
of.
about this.
Mhm.
Maybe the reason people are so the way they are right now is because they haven't forgiven themselves, and that they don't really love themselves, and they don't like themselves very much.
I've always said that you hate most in others what you despise most in yourself. So I think, and I'm not trying to say people are hypocrites,
So good.
but and I'm one too, so I'm not judging. But when you're coming at people and you're hating them for a specific thing,
Yeah.
there's something in your heart that at least you perceive to maybe be a little similar. So when you're running out there and saying so and so is a racist, so and so is doing this, so and so is doing that, I ask you, look deep inside yourself, honestly, do it honestly, and ask yourself, are you at least afraid that maybe you've got some of that in you and you're so terrified of that you have to point it out in others? I'm not saying you do. Just ask yourself that and see if that's there. And be honest with yourself if you find that it is. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. You're a human being. It just means, okay, maybe what I need to do is self reflect on this a little bit. And in doing so, back off a little bit on that, especially when this is a person I don't even know. Right. Like, that's all I'm trying to say is have a little bit more honesty. When I'm saying be honest with yourself, be truthful with others, I really am saying, and it's hard because I'm very bad at this myself. Look deep inside yourself and find out whether or not that thing that you're accusing someone else of being, especially someone you don't know, is that something that's deep down inside of me, or at least something I'm afraid of being deep down inside of me. And if it is, let's talk about that first. Let's work on that first, and then see what you can do about how you're feeling about other people. I think there's so much of what's deep inside us that we don't even know and can't even discover without really looking deep inside and doing the hard questions. I do it with myself. I won't say every day. I try very hard to do it. And to your question about what did I learn from this book, that is very much one of the things I've learned is some of the things I have grudges about, or some of the things I do accuse other people of, because I'm human. I do it. If I look deep inside myself, I'm like, there's a little bit of that in me, or I'm at least afraid there might be a little bit of that in me. When I think about people who are so self-absorbed or have really big heads and it's all pride and vanity, I'm like, a little bit of that here. And I try and fight that a lot. That's why sometimes I think when people compliment me, I don't know how to take compliments very well, because I think
I'm the
deep
same
down
way.
I'm afraid it's going to do this. And so I have to nip it before it can do this. And whether or not that's true, I don't know. But it's seriously, there's got to be something there that thinks it's possible. And so I think maybe when I turn that around and look at how I treat other people that I think may be getting a little bit too big headed, man, do I get seriously,
Convicted.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes from. If I'm being honest with myself, that's where it comes from. I don't know what to do about that, but at least if I'm observant of that, it helps keep me understanding why my perspective of somebody else might be skewed that way, or why I might see that in a person when it doesn't even exist.
Scholars say Paul was like that
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
degree. You know what I mean? And I really love what you just said, man. We're not even. I'm not because I know you have a hard stop. Pretty soon we got to get
Yes, I
off.
do. I do.
But so we got to. I think we just did final thoughts, bro.
Yep.
Right there.
That's my final
Yeah,
thought.
I think that's wonderful. And bro, God Jots. Let's see it again. You got to send me like a picture of the book so I can,
I will.
you know,
I'll send you a
put
picture
it on and all that.
Just remind me.
But bro,
Send me an email and I'll send it to you.
I will. Okay. And Ender, I just appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on, but I appreciate you writing the book.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for
You know what I
having me.
mean?
Thank you for giving me a chance to talk about it and just, talk about, what it means, what I'm trying to do, and give me the opportunity to kind of pitch it to your listeners. I really appreciate that.
Anytime. Absolutely anytime. So, guys, know this. We didn't get to sponsors, but if you guys don't know who the sponsors are by now, here's the only thing you need to think about. Go pre-order, whatever you need to do, put the link in the bio, all that. Go get this book. It is going to help you. I guarantee it. And Ender, I just appreciate you, man. I know it's going to help people because I know it came from the right place.
Yeah,
Your
I hope
heart
so.
is awesome, bro. And so,
thank you. I appreciate that.
For Ender, for stop it. For Ender, for so funny. Not to inflate your ego, but it came from the right place. Jeez,
I'm like, hey,
I'm helping people. Look at
I'm
this.
helping
Look
people.
at me. My humility towers over the most humble.
My humility towers over yours. That's awesome. That's funny. Yeah. I like that.
You're humble. I am humble.
I am more modest than you are.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you about it. Look at my modesty. I mean, look at my modesty, bro. Look at how modest I am.
Says, look at my modesty. I might actually do that. That's brilliant.
Guys, know this. Go out there and get his book. It really, you can links in the bio and all that. Ender, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. For Ender, for all the sponsors that hitch their wagon to us, and for you that are going out there buying the book and that like what we're doing. Know this, that we love you and God bless you. And let his face shine upon you and give you great peace. Be excellent to yourself and each other. And you know what? Come on this show, when you get your book, write a comment, let us know how it did and how it affected you, how it changed your heart. And I can't wait to come on here and tell you how it changed mine. So we love you guys. As always, we will see you next week. Talk to you soon.